If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Carmentary. My name is Neil, and today I'm going to talk about the biggest news story in Japan right now. It's all over the TV. Top news on YouTube news bar as well. Bear attack. Woo, bear attack. Man. This is kind of a gruesome news story. Let me turn off my sunglasses here because it probably really doesn't fit the mood, but I need to do it for my thumbnail, baby. It's all about the thumbnail. Gotta get you to click, right? So, here in Hokkaido, on the 14th of May, approximately somewhere around 51-year-old fisherman from the far eastern part of Hokkaido made a trip to the lake Shumarinai, which is in central Hokkaido, central northern Hokkaido. The city of Horokanai is the governing body. That's the district where the lake is. It's a man-made lake in central Hokkaido there. It has kind of a bit of a mystique and aura to it. A lot of ghost stories, a lot of kind of, it's kind of a creepy lake, to be honest with you. I have been there myself. I have seen it. I've got some stories about it I can tell you later, maybe at the end of this commentary. But let's get to the news. This guy goes there fishing on the 14th. He goes missing. I guess his family maybe said, hey, he was supposed to come home. He didn't come home. They go out, they search, they find the body mauled, scratched up. Obviously they're going, ooh, this has got to be a bear. They call in the hunters, they go searching, they find a bear in the vicinity, they kill the bear, they do an autopsy, and today was what, the 21st of May, this came out in the news. They found bear DNA on the victim, and they found the victim's DNA inside the bear. Ooh, oh man. A guy came by the store today and was talking to me. We talked about this news story as well. He saw another news report that said they found like 6 kilos worth of the victim inside the bear. Oh man, that sounds terrible. Okay, so basically that's the whole story. You got a fisherman who went out to the lake, was fishing on the lake. Obviously a bear came down and was like, hey buddy, I want the fish, or I want you, something, and maybe just snuck up on him. Man, it's a sad story, but this is sort of the reality that we're all dealing with here in Hokkaido all the time. This island is covered in bear. There are a lot of bear. By the way, there are 2 distinct variations, or 2 distinct types of bear, and the more aggressive and more violent bear is found from the center of Hokkaido to the west. So that includes Sapporo, etc., where I live. Everything from the center of Hokkaido to the east is a different type of bear. Not that they're not non-violent, but there's a lot of, you'll see footage and photos and video and news reports of bears like walking on beaches, and there'll be like a fishing boat and a fisherman right there, and they're like really close. And if you see that stuff, that's all from the far eastern side of Hokkaido, where the bears are a different breed. They're not as aggressive and violent. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, this accident, this happened right on that line where you're probably going to have the more aggressive type of bear. So the story, or what I wanted to mention, is that, hey, you really have to be aware of this if you're coming to Hokkaido or live in Hokkaido, or you're going to come and enjoy the wilderness, which Hokkaido is famous for. Trekking, camping, canoeing, kayaking, all the outdoor activities, fishing included. Fishing has and always will be a dangerous sport to partake as far as bears are concerned in Hokkaido, especially Keiryuzuri. Keiryuzuri is, what is that? Like river fishing, like a lot of there's fly fishing and lure fishing both, but a lot of people enjoy like going up into all these rivers. We have beautiful rivers with clean water and great, fish. Going up into those rivers. I am not a big fisherman. I do not go fishing on my own. I have been shooting photos and video of fishing trips and really high-end professional fishermen several times here in Hokkaido over the years. So I've gotten the experience, I've gotten to see what it's like, but always with other people who really know what they're doing. There's dangers of just being in the rivers as far as the currents, crossing rivers, knowing how all that works. But you always have to be aware of the presence of bear. It scared the crap out of me, to be honest with you. The rivers are very noisy. You have water rushing over rocks, and it's just noisy. And I was always like, man, if there was a bear right around the corner, you would never know it. And then, of course, the wind direction. If you're like downwind of a bear, they're not going to catch your scent until you're right up on them. They can get freaked out, etc. Lakes feel safer in some strange way because you're not so closed in, it's all open, etc. But I've never been fishing at Lake Shumarinai where this accident happened, but I have been fishing and taking photos of fishermen at Lake Shikoku, which is another big lake nearby here, which is famous for fishing and also famous for bear. Fishermen need to have their little private space. They want to get away from other fishermen and other people, so they'll walk along the shoreline like kilometers to get way out there. And I've done that, and I've also gone kayaking, and we land on the beach and you kind of take a break and you look around and go, man, a bear could walk out of the woods and we would be screwed, that was always my feeling. So carrying bear spray, taking every possible precaution, being really, really careful. But obviously, in this accident, no one was there to see what exactly happened. But, I'm guessing the guy is fishing. It could have been windy, choppy waves, maybe noisy. He had his back to the forest, fishing away. Bear comes down and boom, gotcha. So, keep that in mind, folks, and be very, very careful if you're going to come to Hokkaido and enjoy the great outdoors. Make sure to have bear spray. Bear spray, I think you can't, I don't know if you can pack it on your luggage on the plane. I would be cautious of that. But it is sold at all the outdoor shops here in Hokkaido. Bear spray is not gonna, it's not a perfect tool. It may not save you in an attack, but it's better than standing there with nothing, right? It also has an expiration date. Keep that in mind. I believe they say it only really is good in the canister for maybe like 2 years or something. So don't carry old bear spray when you go out into the woods. Make sure you have a fresh bottle. Another tip concerning bear spray: don't just go out there and just like, I want to test out my bear spray. I was with a group of people about 2 years ago. I think maybe it was last year or 2 years ago, and we went out into the woods on this filming trip, and one of the guys did exactly that. He's like, I want to test out my bear spray. He let off the tiniest little bit, like a tiny little spray, and the wind picked it up and blew it back at him and us. I actually, being the smart guy that I am, I kind of stepped backing up on like a boulder when I saw he was going to do that. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get out of here. And I backed up far enough away, it didn't hit me. But the other guys standing there all got a little wave of it, even though it was the tiniest little jet and we didn't even really see anything. It's like you couldn't even really see it. And it got in his eyes and he was like, like screaming for like, it wasn't super bad, but you could see that stuff, man. Like if you shot it off wrong, or if the wind was really strong coming at you when you used it, you could be the one who gets the bear spray in your eyes and not the bear. So be very careful with that stuff. And in a panic situation, I can only imagine what it's like when there's a bear coming down on you. I think that's about all I got. Basically, gruesome news from central Hokkaido here. Man mauled and killed by a bear, Lake Shimarinai. Boy, I bet they are not happy about that news story for the tourism industry in that area. The lake is it's quite famous. They do ice fishing in the winter. You can actually go out on snowmobiles to the center of the lake. It's all frozen over. They set up tents, you dig a little hole, and you go ice fishing. In the summer, there are several campsites. It's kind of a real wilderness area. Obviously, the fishing is another thing as well. So, yeah, I bet that has really kind of hurt the local tourism. What can you do? All right, folks. By the way, there is a lack of hunters in Hokkaido. So if you are interested and want to go through all the hoops you have to go through to get a hunting license in Japan, not easy, highly regulated, very strict. They do like mental surveys to make sure you don't have depression, and yeah, it's a real deal. You have to apprentice for a while with a professional hunter who already has the license. You can't just go in and just get a rifle and go hunting. It does not work like that. You have to have a special safe in your house to hold the rifle. You have to have a safe or some way to carry the rifles in your vehicle when you go hunting. You have to have an alarm on your vehicle. You cannot leave your vehicle with the rifles inside for longer than a certain period of time. Like, there's tons of rules from what I've heard. It's a big deal. That is probably why there are not enough hunters. But there are needed. There's a very short supply of hunters. Way too many deer. They're trying to cull the number of deer here in Hokkaido, and it's a losing battle. I think now with news stories like this one, it's going to be the same thing with the bear. Way too many bear in Hokkaido. Yeah. So if you're really into hunting and you want to go through the process needed to get a license, you're welcome to come on over. We would love to have you. All right. I'm at my destination. I hope that gave you a little bit of information. Thanks as always for listening to the Carmentaries. I will be back with more news from Japan and other things. Talk to you soon. Drive safe.
If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.